what else to do. I mean, I had a fight with somebody in 2012 after showing the film at the UU church here in Berkeley. She said, "What do you mean that don't vote for the Democrat?" I said, "What are you voting for? Who do you think you're voting for here? People who already sold you out 4 years ago when they gave you the hope and change dance? You know? It's like, but you can't let the Republicans." I said, "Excuse me. So you voted in Obama, and what did he do? He put the very people in charge of our economy. He wrecked it. How is that better?"
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
I want to go to people who haven't spoken, because we could sort of wrap it up, which will start with Katie Hickhouse in San Francisco. And Sharon, if you want to say something. Yeah, okay, let's have some.
I'm going to try to keep it to just like 1 or 2 minutes. So Jonathan, thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Thank you so much for speaking. Thank you for all you've done.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, I have 2 questions. Have you been in touch with Mark Crispin Miller? Because he was the one who did the...
All the time.
Did you see him at the left forum? Were
We
you on
cry
the
on each
panel?
other's shoulder constantly. We were sitting right next to one another.
Oh.
He said we both look like something out of Dawn of the Living Dead. Panel was videoed and photographed. We all unanimously forbid the distribution of the video and the photographs because we all looked so awful. And I questioned whether that was because we were all, Victoria Collier was there, Bob Fitrakis was there, and the question was, are all, grizzled veteran, 10-year plus election integrity activists, do we all look like crap? For the same reason. Is there a common thread here? But we were sitting next to one another, and we talk all the time.
Yeah, there is a kind of I'll just go on one tangent. I'm sorry, it's my proud tradition as an English major from UC Berkeley. An English major section discussion course. You start on this subject and then you go to the left and to the right.
I was
and
an
back.
English major,
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of that very subject, about you all look like.
Night of the Living Dead, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lighting wasn't very good either. It was very fluorescent, but.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to.
Oh, and by the way,
Yes.
we were in the John Jay College of Criminal Justice,
Justice.
which gets most of their money from, I believe, the Koch
The
brothers.
Koch brothers.
So maybe the lighting was intentionally bad and made us a little foolish. I don't know.
Just as an awareness and sort of a safety thing, because I've been studying this and I've kind of stepped back from the whole election integrity because I felt so helpless after having personally given Nancy Pelosi at a little coffee clutch thing and her daughter a copies of Mark Crispin Miller
Loser take all. Yeah.
and tried to get them to be interested in this whole subject. And I think, that has badly smeared me forevermore in the Democratic Party. And I tried to get the, Burton, whatever his name. John Burton. Yeah, I've talked to him, shook his hand, talked to him one-on-one, emailed him, said, this is over the gay marriage thingy, how that was rigged, the big Prop 8 thing was rigged in California. Anyway, and the social media, I understand social media is here to stay. Facebook has some serious integrity issues because of the funding. It's a Nazi's wet dream come true. I just don't feel comfortable displaying all of my relationships with everybody and everything I say. So I try to use it as little as possible, other than to use it as a kind of a. Just think, but I'm going back to the tangent, which is how you guys all look like shit. Sorry.
Yeah. The very words I used.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Well, another company.
Okay, and I just want to, just FYI, the Berkeley City Council passed the ordinance, the right to know for cell phone legislation.
Oh, good.
And they had Harvard's professor Lawrence Lessig doing it pro bono. And the wireless just filed a lawsuit today, of course, against them to block it. And they're going to sue them for billions and billions, and they're going to basically put Berkeley out of business because of this. But getting back to why I'm even bringing this up is this wireless radiation stuff is very, very serious stuff. It's very dangerous. If you look, any of you watched the movie Alice with Julianne Moore who got the Academy
Judy.
Award Oscar?
Yeah.
Try to stay on
Yeah,
top.
talk-
With the social media, you said some really pretty heavy-duty things.
Yeah, she's
Just
going
kind
off
of
topic
dismissive.
here,
No,
yeah.
Can you
This
get
is-
back on it, please?
Your lives are all at risk, your health is all at risk because of the wireless radiation that's being, you're all being exposed to right now as we speak. Anyway, I just want you to let you know that this stuff really does affect your health. You don't think about it, but if you're not sleeping as well, if you have pain, you can't focus, the fatigue, the premature aging. And there's a guy, Barry Trower, on the internet, you Googled, he's done a whole 15-part interview. He was at MI5 in the UK, military expert. He knows all the frequencies. So one of the things that may have happened during the 2004 election was they actually did this microwave radiation experiment in major metropolitan areas to keep people calm and to get them to basically accept and to be unconscious and just allow these crooked, rigged elections to take place without anybody accepting the results. So that's a whole other subject in and of itself, and I'm finished with what I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sharon, Sharon, do you want to say anything from Santa Clara County here?
Well, I'm just taking it all in right now. I'm the chair of our Elections Commission in Santa Clara County, and that doesn't say a whole lot.
I'm sorry, that doesn't.
Say a whole lot, but
It does.
Well,
it's a lot to us.
Oh, it sure does.
It's very difficult to even get my commission to look into things.
Yeah.
But I've had we do have two men on my commission who have come forward a little bit. And one's a Republican of all things.
Yeah.
And the other one is a real left-winger. But they're working with me on the all vote by mail issue, which just scares the living daylights out of me. And they are the ones who really brought it up, but I ran with it. And, but it's all keyed into a new election system that our county wants to buy. And it scares me because no one's listening, no
Is
one
that-
really cares.
Is that Sequoia?
And,
Is that a
well,
Sequoia
no,
system?
It's unknown.
it's unknown, yeah, and all I can do at
It has
this
to be
point is just
defined.
make sure that our commission is kept in the loop and that we have a say on, that the commission has a say on what goes into the RFP. And I have been told by the assistant registrar of voters, who is nothing less than the biggest fat liar I've ever run into, and that we will have no say in it. But yet, I talked with the procurement department of the county, and they said, oh, yes, you will. So you don't know who to believe, but I'm keeping my fingers on it. But it's very, very difficult because if I go too far, I lose my,
Committee.
I lose the
Credibility.
two supporters I've got right now. And I just wrote a 27-page literature review on vote by mail, which I have not sent to Richard yet because it hasn't been gone through my commission. But it looks okay. But right now, we're doing a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors on it. So that's all I can say. So your book is just wonderful for me. I'm really learning.
May.
I do want to respond to that. I just
Yeah, go ahead.
quite quickly. And I just want to tell you about, if you're not familiar with Virginia Martin ring a bell for anybody here? Okay, so Virginia Martin is a election commissioner, the Democratic election commissioner. There's a Republican and a Democrat in Columbia County, New York. And Columbia County is a relatively small upstate county. It's south of Albany, so it's generally a pretty Republican country. But by law, they have a Republican and Democratic commissioner. And she and her Republican counterpart took a look at the system that they inherited when they took office a few years ago, and were appalled at the unverifiability of it and the fact that it is op scans, but it was they didn't have any access to the memory cards or to the code or to how it was being counted. And they decided, and this was post-HAVA, so they had to have the op scans, but or New York State determined that they had to have the op scans. It might not have been HAVA itself, but in compliance with HAVA, New York State said you've got to count by op scan. But they open those op scans after every election, and they pull out the ballots, and they assemble a team of counters, and they count them by hand. And originally it took them like 5 days, they got it down to 2 or 3 days now. They do it right, they do it under public observation, public is invited, et cetera, et cetera.
Have they found
And
anything?
this is no, they haven't found anything because they broadcast that they were doing this. So it's not exactly a
Nobody's gonna mess with it.
hotspot for rigging, not that New York State would necessarily be anyway, but they haven't, the results correspond pretty well. Okay. So the problem is that they are absolute pariahs. I asked her, well, this is something that you've now refined, you can template it, you can export it. How about some of your fellow commissioners? She said, to a person, they hate us. There is not an election commissioner anywhere in New York, with the possible exception of Nassau County, which wants to get their lever systems back, that believes that they deserve to live, let alone to prosper. And the state election administrator is the same way. The state overlords are trying to find ways of putting them out of business and preventing them from doing this because it's infinitely threatening to the overall system. My thinking is there's Ian Sancho in Florida, there's Jimmy Martin in New York, there was Stephanie Singer in Philadelphia before the Democrats got rid of her. By not allowing her to qualify for the ballot, by challenging all of her ballot petition signatures. But there are people around, if you look really carefully, who probably are facing similar issues and are conscientious. I think one of the things that could happen in this movement is linking conscientious election administrators, even if they represent 1/10 of 1% of the election administrators, together and having, whether it's an actual physical conference, but certainly some sort of, and I wouldn't put it on Facebook necessarily, but some sort of correspondence circle where you guys can take notes and expand your ranks and begin to sell the product of election integrity and honestly count elections. And so you don't feel like you're completely isolated and maybe bring people in. But it's dangerous. Granted, it's politically dangerous. It may even be personally dangerous. But I do think that, it's something where as long as you're all completely isolated, your prospects are much, much less.
Okay, Meg?
Yeah, well, lots of questions, maybe some I'll write to you after that. There's an assumption in what you're saying that hand-counted paper ballots in the precinct are the gold standard. Is that, I have a hard time reconciling that practice with my experience as a poll worker for many years in California, where the ballots are very long. The poll workers are marginally literate.
Yeah.
The strongest of them are the high school students who come in, and I'm talking about working in the flatlands, not in the hills, where a lot of well-educated people show up to work. So I'm very skeptical about that as a solution to all this, and I tend to look to other solutions like statistical audits or the Humboldt Transparency Project. And I wonder what you think about those as alternatives to people massing around the ballot box and demanding to get their hands on the ballots, because frankly, in the precincts where I worked, chaos would ensue. I mean, people are tired, they've been there for 12 or 14 hours. If you had a new group of volunteers come in, how are you going to vet those people? I mean, the people standing around the ballot box might just as well be Tea Partiers who want to count things in their direction as people on the other side. So anyway.
Absolutely valid point, and I do want to respond to that on several levels. First of all, absolutely, that's part of the daunting reality of instituting a quote-unquote gold standard, system, is that in reality, especially in a place like California with very long form ballots, I mean, this would work much better in a parliamentary system where you have one vote on a ballot and that's
Right.
it.
Germany, they voted for
Difficult.
2 people.
And we talked about bifurcating the ballot and separating out the federal elections. That was our original proposal from EDA, was to at least count the federal and statewide elections, which are not very long. I mean, just, you got maximum of 3 federal offices on any ballot, and you have, governor and attorney general and secretary of state.
Unless you
So-
include the initiatives.
no, forget the initiatives, that would be out, we would just compromise. And so the bifurcated ballot was a practical possibility. The problem is that we've now seen that state legislative seats are extremely important infrastructurally. So I'm not sure that bifurcating the ballot, in an ideal world, let's say we were king for a day, and that still might not be the way to go. I agree with you that a well-designed and scrupulously executed risk-limiting audit, or some form of the Humboldt system or clear ballot, have the capacity to be very, very effective deterrents. And I'm not after, personally, and I don't advocate a perfect election system, one that is gold standard. We just want to deter the things that have major traction and major impact. So those audit systems, and California has a reasonably decent audit system in terms of the way it's run compared to other states.
You mean the 1%?
Yeah, the
Oh,
1%.
it's absolutely worthless.
It's not worthless though,
But we have
because
a
if
lot
it
of people
has,
watching it.
if it has deterrent
We have a lot
impact,
of people watching
it doesn't
and
have
that's
to
the
work. In other words, it doesn't have to work to have value. It just has to have the perception of possibly
gonna be-
tripping up the, so.
Anyone who understands the statistics will not be deterred by 1%.
We're going to run into
Okay, but-
overtime, just like the
Okay.
Warriors.
Sure.
We have a couple of things to address about Sacramento's before we're done yet. But
About Sacramento?
there's some bills that we.
Okay.
Chandra, you wanted to speak
Yeah.
for a moment and
Could I?
mention what you're doing Wednesday and July 1st
Well,
on one of these things.
Yeah, just let me say that I want to weigh in and say, we got to do this. We got to do this. We're together. We're back. We're energized. The reason I love Jonathan's book is because I felt like it re-energized me and made me feel like we still need to do this and we still can. And I think so many ideas have come out tonight that are valid. I just read Naomi Klein's This Changes Everything, and what I didn't realize is there is a worldwide movement taking shape around the
Climate
climate.
change.
We can do it too. We can do it too, and we can do it enough so that it's a deterrent. We can do this. And sharing the information is really important, whether it's, I'm encouraging my friends, and I'm doing it myself, I'm buying multiple books. And if Nancy Pelosi got one book from Katie, but she gets one from me, and she gets one from you, and she gets one from you, maybe that'll start
There you
making a
go.
difference. We've
There
got to
you
get a
go.
hold of Russ
There you go.
Feingold, and we've got to tell him what we told Al Franken. Get a team, get part of your team that is an expert on how this election could be stolen. Make them experts, make it known that they're going to be paying attention, and send them Bev Harris's book that's got the toolkit. And then we said to Al, don't concede. Don't concede, don't concede. And he didn't, and he knew, and he won by 103 votes or something like that. So there are things we can do, and there are ways we can leverage what we've done already, and we can leverage Jonathan's book. We can use social media. It's going to kill us anyway, so let's use it. I mean, yeah, it's ruining us, so fine, but let's use it. We do civil disobedience, but we coordinate around the country. We coordinate with others. Somebody works the media and the social media, and we get coverage that, whoa, Rachel Manson, what's happening around the country? These people are surrounding the OpScan machines, and they're not sitting down until they see the ballots. And we can do this.
Wait, I want to add one thing to that. We can, and I keep meaning to bring this up and I don't. One of the key things, I might have brought it up this afternoon, but we need a search and response team that's serious, that recruits a lot of people, And the right wing has had this for many, 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 many years. So when an article like Elizabeth Drew's comes out in the New York Review of Books that basically says there's danger in our elections and cites everything except the vote counting, gerrymandering,
Yes.
big money, all these things, and talks about it really seriously, the implication of an article like that, since she's taking this all so seriously and excluding this, is that this is crazy. That article needs, in the New York Review of Books, responses from hundreds, thousands of people. Not a template letter, but talking points that would then be sent out when we spot articles like this. People are good with Google searches. We have a detector system for any articles about election administration, election processes, whatever. Gerrymandering is one of the words that comes up. Voter ID comes up. Voter suppression comes up, et cetera, et cetera. You get these articles, you send out an email alert, and a lot of people send those letters in because they do. They actually count letters. Oh, they don't read the letters, they count them. We got 9,477 letters that
Start a
says
Twitter
Elizabeth
thing
Drew
on
is.
it.
Yeah, and you go with Twitter and you go with letters and you find Elizabeth Drew and you get past her gatekeeper and you get her a personal letter, you send her a book, et cetera, et cetera. This is what we need to do because they need to hear from us every time they put out this information that is so misleading and so disarming to any sort of resistance.
Okay, I got two people with their hands up. Richard, we're gonna spill into overtime.
That's fine with me.
Oh, yeah, I'll sign it for you.
That's fine with
Throw it
me.
over here.
Huh? We can go on?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
All right, then, Richard, well, since you're the host here, Janet,
Okay,
sorry.
you know, I've been in charge of, I've been in charge of precincts, you know, for voting, Jonathan.
Yes.
I've been in charge of precincts for voting. My thought is, if you could get a person in charge of the precincts and all the people who are volunteering in that precinct, at 8 o'clock they lock the doors. The election is over, they lock the doors, and then gather everything to bring it to the Senate. When you lock the doors, you open the scanner bins and take out all the ballots and put it in a bag. If the person who is in charge of the precinct, plus all the other people working there, are in agreement when they lock the door, they could count the ballots.
Right.
And you could have a person video recording it. So that, you know, you could see with the video recorder, none of the ballots are being shifted away anywhere. They're just counting them,
Yeah.
and they get this number.
Do they have a right to actually view the ballots? Is
No.
that where-
No, but you're talking about civil disobedience.
Yeah, no, I was just asking if this was by right or...
Yeah, but see, the thing is, if you have everybody in the precinct in agreement with this, at 8 o'clock, you lock the doors.
Right.
And so they may say, you can't do this, but they have to break into the locked doors
Got it.
while you're recounting it and videotaping it all.